Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun. It is covered with many kinds of impact craters, valleys, deserts, and polar ice caps. There are also lake beds, canyons, and volcanoes. There are frequent dust storms. Mars is a terrestrial planet with a thin atmosphere. The atmosphere of Mars is made up of carbon dioxide, 95.32%, nitrogen, 2.7%, argon, 1.6%, oxygen, 0.13%, carbon monoxide, 0.08%. People cannot live in this atmosphere. The average temperature on Mars is negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The poles in winter can get to negative 195 degrees Fahrenheit. At midday near the equator, it can be 70 degrees Fahrenheit in summer, but it can still get down to negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The diameter of Mars is 4,022 miles. It takes Mars 24 hours and about 39 minutes to rotate on its axis. Mars revolves around the Sun once every 1.88 Earth years, or once every 686.93 Earth days. Earth is 249 million miles away from Mars. When Earth and Mars are in line with each other's orbits, the shortest distance can be 34 million miles away. Elon Musk is the founder of a private company called Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, or SpaceX. His goal is to get people to Mars in order to establish a colony. SpaceX currently makes money by doing jobs for other companies like NASA and the U.S. Air Force. SpaceX sends satellites up into orbit for companies, and they also resupply resources for the International Space Station, or ISS. SpaceX wants to get people to Mars by launching a rocket from a launch facility, either in Texas, California, or Florida. Right now, Florida seems the most likely location. SpaceX plans to use a rocket called the Falcon 9 to send a capsule into space. The rocket will drop off and come back to Earth, but the capsule, called the Interplanetary Transport System, or ITS, will be refueled and continue on to Mars. The ITS will be bigger than the existing launch facilities, so SpaceX will have to build a new launch pad. After the rocket releases the capsule, it will return to Earth and make a soft landing at its launch site, so it can be used again and again. SpaceX expects that colonists on Mars will live in domes and park their spaceship next to it. This idea was generated from NASA studies in Hawaii, where domes have been built to simulate life on Mars. The people in the project in Hawaii can go outside only in their spacesuits. They are doing experiments about growing food on Mars. Elon Musk is not concerned how people colonize Mars. He thinks the people who go there first will figure it out. He also thinks that the atmosphere on Mars can be compressed to grow plants. Mars has lots of nutrients-rich soil and water ice and compounds that could support plants such as nitrogen. Scientists think that astronauts could pack enough supplies and freeze-dried food to get to Mars and back to Earth, but regular food supply missions will probably be required. NASA currently has a veggie program to figure out which vegetables can be grown in space, but so far only red romaine lettuce has been approved for astronauts to eat. The antioxidants in the red romaine lettuce could reduce the effects of radiation exposure. The veggie program is also testing cabbages and peppers. Some scientists also think that plants could be grown on the spaceship on the way to Mars, but the lack of gravity could prevent air and water from mixing just right for the plants. Some scientists think that colonists could build greenhouses on Mars with high-tech potting systems that would let plants grow without soil. If Martian soil is used for growing food, toxic elements in the soil would have to be removed first. The ITS will carry at least 100 to 200 people per trip to Mars. The spaceship will have movie theaters, lecture halls, and a restaurant. 1,000 or more ships will go to Mars every 26 months, when Mars and Earth are closest in orbit. Currently, it takes about 6 to 9 months to get to Mars from Earth. Elon Musk believes the SpaceX ITS can make it the trip in 80 days. To land on Mars, the ships will use supersonic retropropulsion, which means onboard thrusters will fire in order to let the ships land softly. Spaceships will be refueled on Mars and launched back to Earth. They will not need a big rocket to leave Mars since the planet is smaller, so it has a weaker gravitational pull. SpaceX is better than Mars One because of these advantages. SpaceX has reusable rockets. It has affordable cost of ticket, $100,000 to $200,000 expected. Colonists can return to Earth, but passengers on Mars One will never come back. Anyone could go to Mars with SpaceX, but Mars One has a training and selection process for astronauts. SpaceX has these disadvantages. There's no clear plan for colonizing Mars, but Mars One plans to build on Mars before colonists arrive. There's possible exposure to radiation during the journey to Mars on SpaceX, which could make people sick. SpaceX is not providing training for colonists, but Mars One is training and selecting people to colonize Mars. What do you say? Are you in?